Good morning, guys. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday morning. I personally am a little hungover this morning from the Texans game last night, or yesterday. We started doing shots every time the Texans scored, which didn't work out for us the first half of the game, but halfway through the third quarter and on, it went really quick. I think we did 6 shots in that from the third to the overtime. So So I'm feeling a little bit of that this morning. I was looking at one of the groups that I belong to, and someone was asking about scanners and how to write scanners or how to do indicators and things like that. So there's a couple of sites. So scanners they can be easy or they can be hard. Um, you can set up a simple scanner, or you can use one of the preset scanners that are in ThinkorSwim, or you can do something super advanced where you actually write your own scanners or write your own indicators using programming. But instead of having to do that, I'm going to show you a couple of places where you can find custom scanners and custom indicators, and then just show you how to load those instead of having to learn how to write your own ThinkorSwim scripts. So we're going to start with just the pre-made ones that are on ThinkorSwim. So if you go to your scan tab and you're on Stock Hacker, you can go to the menu icon that's next to the little fire, which is a sizzle index apparently, and you can load a scan query. And there's underneath personal is what you would are the scans that you save yourself, the ones that you make and save. But the other ones like public and top 10 are pre-made one. So let's go to new yearly highs. We'll click that on and we'll actually do a scan for new yearly highs. We'll leave everything exactly the way it is, but you can actually change this to meet whatever criteria you want to. So for example, the volume you can change to be higher volume, and then the last price that the stock was running at, you can change that to meet the stock prices that you're actually more interested in. And then the custom study here is what the actual script that runs the specific scan, which is a pre-made one in ThinkorSwim. So once you scan and you come up with a list, you can actually save this so it alerts you every time something new gets added to this list. So if you click on this icon here, this menu icon here, which is under the search results, you'll click on alert when scan results change. And so the scan, you'll have to change the scan to a scan name, which is actually a watch list. So you're actually creating a watch list and an alert at the same time. And I've done this before, but I know that some people don't watch all of my videos, so I'm doing it again. So every time a symbol is added to this watch list, so we'll just call this highs, yearly highs. And then with the notification, we'll want to trigger a sound like a bell or whatever, and you can pick whatever ones you want, or you can do no sound at all. And then I always have it sent to my phone too. So this means send push notifications to mobile device. So on my ThinkorSwim app on my phone, it actually alerts me too. So I don't have to be in front of the computer every time to see the alerts. And then underneath your options, you'll actually change this every time. It will send you a message whenever it changes. And then this will tell it when to expire. So if you just don't put anything, or if you put not specified, it never expires until you actually change it or delete the watch list. So once you create that, then if you go to the menu item where you load the scan, you actually, under your personal now, you have a yearly highs. This is which the watch list you set. And you can actually go to your sidebar here and pull up that watch list, which is now under yearly highs. And it'll show your watch list now. And like I said, it'll alert you every time something gets added to it. I'm actually going to delete that because I don't need it. Here, we'll go to delete and delete yearly highs and click yes, and now it's gone. So that's how to create the alerts. Now, the other part of it is where to find ThinkorSwim scripts. So there's 2 websites, and they're both linked in the blog, and I'll link them also in this video. Easy Caters is run by this guy named Josiah, and he has ones that he makes himself that he actually charges for, but he also has an area where he links to dozens and dozens of pre-made ThinkorSwim scripts. Now, some of these don't have labels on them, but some do. So the ones that don't have labels, you can install and check them out if you want to. If you don't like it, actually, you can always delete it. So I'm just going to choose one, and what I'll do is right click on it and go to copy link. And then once I get to back to my ThinkorSwim, I'll go to setup and I'll click open shared item. And then once I'm in there, I just hit command. On my Mac, I hit command V. On a PC, it's control V, which means paste. Click on preview, and it shows you a preview of what that script is and what the study does. So if you want to load it in, just click open and it'll actually load that study in, and then you'll have a new study in ThinkorSwim. Some of them are scanners. If we go back to here, I think some of these are scanners. We'll open, here we go, scan. We'll do right click here, copy link, go back to your ThinkorSwim and go to setup. And you can do this on any other tabs. Like you can go to Beyond Charts and go to setup and click on open shared item and paste that in, and it'll do the same thing. So this is a scan query and how it's made, who made it, but it doesn't actually give a specific explanation on what it does, but you can open it up and try it and see what it does. So that's how to install ThinkorSwim's custom ThinkorSwim scripts for scanners and for indicators. And then once you do the actual loading in, you can do a scan on it, and then obviously you can create the alert again so that it alerts you every time it makes a change. So I think that's oh, and then there's one other spot, which is actually one of my favorite places to go for ThinkorSwim scripts. It's actually a forum that someone had created, and it's called Use ThinkScript, and there are indicators and strategies and tutorials on how to do things, and it's actually, there's a lot of stuff in here. You can spend days and days and days on researching different types of indicators and scripts that can be used. I've installed a couple of these over the last few months to check them out and see what happens, and as of right now, I'm still kind of using the basic indicators that I use just because I'm comfortable with them. Unless I find something that's really, beneficial. I'm just going to show you how to do one of these too, since we're here right now. And let's just go to this opening range breakout indicator for ThinkorSwim. So this is actually written in code, but you don't have to copy and paste the code in. You just do the same thing we did before and just do right click, copy link, go back to your ThinkorSwim setup, click on open shared items, control V or command V, depending on what platform you're using or what kind of platform you're using. Click on preview, and once it's previewed, you can actually open it, and then now you have a script that you can use. And some of these scripts, they actually plot things on the charts. Some of them are indicators that you can use for other things, but let's go ahead and just do one, so that way I can show you the whole process. Open shared item, control V, preview, click open, and it says ThinkorScript study has been saved as from use ThinkorSwim. Okay, so now if we go to charts and we're looking to do a study, and click on load studies and go to add study, we have user defined, and now this is the one that we just loaded. We can click on that, and now this study is now loaded onto your chart. Let me open this up to maximum. Let's change this to 1 day, 1 minute. So now whatever the study does is actually loaded onto your chart. If you go back to his study, he actually does an actual indicator, and he does an explanation on what this is supposed to do, and now you have an explanation on which each one of those lines means and anything that happens while the actual chart's running. And so once you have the specifics, if you like what you see, obviously then you can just load it in. And like I said, you just right click on the chart, you go to your studies, go to add study, and then go to your user define, which are the ones that you actually make or load in, and then click on whichever one was the one that you had just loaded. And then once you do that, then now the study is loaded onto your chart. Another way to add studies is actually with the top menu here where it says studies. You can also do the same thing, load add study, go to upper user define, and then pick the one that you loaded into your platform, and then it'll bring it up too. Now, if you don't like the study or you don't find it useful, or if you just want to delete it, there's the way to do that is you go back to studies here, or you right click and go to studies, and you go to edit studies, and then under studies you'll click this drop down menu and go scroll all the way down to user defined. And then once you're in user defined, you'll see it here, and then just right click on the actual script and click on delete and click yes, and then so we actually have to delete it off of our chart first. So we're learning together. So let's go to, I'll go ahead and load my study set that I have. This is a default study set that I use. And then once I do that, then I can go to studies, edit studies, click on the drop down menu to user defined, and then right click on the study and click on delete. And then once you do that, then boom, if you go back to it, it's gone. So that's how you delete studies also. Click OK, and that's it for last week. So that's a basic tutorial on how to use those. I'll link to both of the websites on my blog and on the actual description in the video. And I hope that helps you guys. Like I said, you could spend days, weeks, months looking through all of the different studies and indicators and things that people have made and are sharing. So, and then alerting yourself with scanners. If you load scanners and you alert yourself with scanners, that really saves a lot of time too. So I hope you have a really good Sunday. I hope tomorrow is green for you. It should be a busy day on the market, I'm hoping, now that the first 2 days are over. So I hope everybody has a green day tomorrow, and have a good rest of your